Welcome everyone as you join us for this program. We will start in just a minute once we have all the participants in from the waiting room. Again, this is the World Oregon virtual program. Bear with us as we have all the participants join us, and then we'll start the official program. Hello, wherever time zone you are in, it is an honor to have you here for this special World Oregon virtual Zoom program. My name is Derek Olson. I'm the president of World Oregon, your host along with our partners at the U.S. Department of State and FHI 360 on this special International Visitor Leadership Program Zoom program. I have a few housekeeping items to mention as we get started. And again, it's an honor for us to have you all with us today. This program is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube later. Attendees, your video is off and microphones are muted because this is a webinar. And so you will only hear and see the speakers or the videos. Questions or comments can be entered in the Zoom Q&A function down the bottom of your screen. Live captioning is being provided by WGBH. If you wish to engage live captioning, click on that at the bottom of your screen where it says closed captioning, and it'll give you an option to either show or hide subtitles. So for anyone interested in subtitles, I encourage you to take advantage of that. I note that our guest speaker is zooming in to us from Lebanon, and due to rolling power cuts in Beirut that have been taking place this week, we might lose him briefly and then have us rejoin. So hold tight if that happens. They usually only last for a minute or so. And I'm sure most of you are used to now the Zoom internet glitches that will happen. And now to the program. The program today is Disability Inclusion in Lebanon, a story of resilience with Fadi El Halabi. And this is an exciting program for us because in 2017, a couple years ago, World Oregon had the honor of welcoming him as part of a group of disability rights advocates from Lebanon through the International Visitor Leadership Program, known as IVLP, the U.S. Department of State's premier professional exchange program. Through the short-term visits to the United States, current and emerging foreign leaders in a variety of fields experience this country firsthand and cultivate lasting relationships with their American counterparts. As a former Foreign Service officer, it was an honor of mine during my career to be able to nominate people to go on these visits, and it is amazing to see them when they're here in our communities. He's an advocate for accessibility and inclusion for people with disabilities, a psychotherapist who counsels couples and adults, an instructor of psychology at St. Joseph University, and a human relations trainer who focuses on civil society development. Following the completion of his IVLP project, Fadi founded the Relational Ecology Center, REC, at Antonine University, which advocates for inclusion of students with disabilities in all aspects of educational life. Due to this work, he was selected to participate in the 2020 Gold Star program, which brings IVLP alumni who've made a significant impact in their home communities back to the United States to share their insights and to discuss new strategies with their American counterparts. Before we hear from our Gold Star alumnus, I wanted to introduce a couple special messages from our partners and colleagues at the U.S. Department of State, who are tremendous supporters of the International Visitors Leadership Program and our Global Ties U.S. network, which links together all the different community organizations around the U.S. that partner on these incredible exchanges. First, we'd like to share a video message from Assistant Secretary Marie Royce. Marie Royce was unanimously confirmed by the U.S. Senate and sworn in as Assistant Secretary of State for Educational and Cultural Affairs in 2018. She oversees a wide range of programs to advance U.S. foreign policy objectives through educational, professional, cultural, and sports exchanges that promote mutual understanding between the people of the United States and other nations. A former businesswoman and professor, Ms. Royce has over 30 years of experience in the private sector with Fortune 500 companies, and as a small business owner, creating and launching startups and new initiatives and serving as a key business liaison to over 80 countries. Directly following Assistant Secretary Royce's message, we will hear from Ms. Chris Miner, who is able to join us live at today's presentation. Ms. Miner is the Managing Director for Professional and Cultural Exchanges and has been part of the Educational and Cultural Affairs Bureau of the Department of State for nearly 3 decades. She has won State Department awards for her leadership, vision, and integrity, advancing mutual understanding over the years. Welcome, Chris. And now for that special video message from Assistant Secretary Royce. My colleague is going to cue up the video. I hope you enjoy it.
The State Department's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs is honored to partner with the Global Ties U.S. Network in hosting the 2020 Gold Stars. This year's Gold Star program for distinguished alumni of the International Visitor Leadership Program, or IVLP, gives us an important opportunity to mark the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, commonly referred to as the ADA. The ADA is a civil rights law that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life in the United States. To our Gold Star alumni, congratulations on your extraordinary work in support of disability rights in your countries. Thank you for sharing your accomplishments and the impact of the IVLP on your work since returning home. To promote awareness of your great work, I encourage you to use the hashtag #AccessForAll. To our guests, thank you for joining today's important discussion about access for all and advocacy in support of inclusion and civil rights. Your work is truly making this world a better place for all.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for that warm welcome. I'm really glad we have the video from the Assistant Secretary, and I'm Chris Miner. I'm delighted to have the chance to join everyone today. First of all, I want to send my congratulations to our IVLP alumnus, Fadi Al-Halabi, for his selection as a Gold Star. Hi, Fadi. I got to talk to Colleen Fleming yesterday about you, and I would say she must be the president of your fan club. So I will be happy to fill in once she goes on to other things. But I'm looking forward to learning more about your incredible work in Lebanon. I also want to recognize the outstanding contributions of our partners today, our hosts at World Oregon. Thank you, Derek Olson, for your leadership, and special thanks to Amy Bars and to Sherilyn Harrington for making Fadi's virtual return to Portland and this presentation today possible. Thanks also to Tim DeRush for your support and for moderating today's discussion. I know that you all have met with many international visitors over the years, and it's wonderful of you to organize today's program. It means a lot to us. Our partners at FHI 360, at World Chicago, at Global Ties San Francisco are also played big roles in organizing Fadi's virtual exchange program. All of you are such dedicated partners for IVLP, and we're grateful for your support over these decades. In a typical year, as many of you know, we bring about 5,000 IVLP leaders to the US, and they then join over 225,000 alumni that have been coming here for about 80 years. But because of the importance of international exchange, and because we know how much these relationships between people in the US and people in other countries mean, the IVLP has pivoted to building virtual exchanges in response to the current challenge. We continue to rely on our strong partnership with the Global Ties US Network, working with our 8 national program agencies and over 80 community-based members spread across the US. Through their efforts, emerging foreign leaders from a variety of fields can experience our country and cultivate lasting relationships with the people they meet virtually in the United States. The Gold Star Initiative has recognized over 50 extraordinary IVLP alumni in the last 10 years. And this year's Gold Star program is unique in a couple of ways, not just because it's virtual. In honor of ADA's 30th anniversary, we are specifically recognizing IVLP alumni who do extraordinary work to support disability rights in their home communities. Typically, a Gold Star alumni would travel back to the US to reconnect with their US counterparts that they had met in their original program. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we decided to proceed with the program by transitioning to a virtual Gold Star exchange for the very first time. As we commemorate the anniversary of the ADA this year, we continue to expand IVLP's focus on disability rights in collaboration with our partners in the Global Ties Network. In fact, since 2010, our IVLP programming on themes related to disability rights and social inclusion has included more than 800 international visitors in over 120 projects. I'd like to echo the words of our Assistant Secretary Marie Royce about the significance of the ADA. This life-changing landmark legislation protecting the civil rights of people with disabilities succeeded in eliminating many barriers in employment, in education, transportation, government services, and telecommunications, all aspects of public life in the United States. Nevertheless, we know there's a lot more work to do in communities like Portland and Chicago and San Francisco, we're able to share insights and experiences with international visitors like Fadi, who return home to impact the world in new and exciting ways. Thank you again to our hosts and our speaker for this great event, and to our guests in Oregon, across the United States, and around the globe. Thank you for joining this discussion. Now I'm happy to turn this back to our friends in Portland. Thank you.
Chris, thanks so much. It's great to have you be part of this program, and we're excited to be joining with those of you around the country and around the world who are with us. A quick reminder, as I mentioned at the beginning, that closed captioning is an option at the bottom of your screen. Depending on your Zoom setup, you can add the subtitles if you'd like to have subtitles. We'd now like to run with a short video that we produced after Fadi's great visit in 2017 with the delegation from his IVLP group to Oregon. And it really gives you a feel not only about what IVLP visits like in general, but this one in particular. And we thought it'd be a meaningful way to share with you what his experience was as we talk about what he learned and what he's been working on in Lebanon now. So my colleague will run the video.
I think I'm lucky that I always focused on my dreams and not on my disability. I had a lot of dreams. I wanted to become a psychologist, a couple therapist. كان انطلق من مبدأ مهم أبعد من العلاقة بين الرجل. I wanted to become a TV presenter. I wanted to become a dancer. This is who I am. I'm a happy person with my disability. It's not something that I need to overcome or something that I need to challenge. No, it's a peaceful part of who I am.
Since I was really a teenager, I was very happy to help people. Like even the school, if there is like a kid who everyone try to hit him, I was protecting him. You know, I have this personality in me. And now look where I am. I am in the US trying to fight for disabled people.
It was my dream to come to the US since I was little, and I struggled and struggled and struggled a lot. And once my principal at the Youth Association of the Blind called me and told me that we have chosen you to go to the trip, it means a lot for me. I'm just trying to take some ideas from the organizations we are visiting and try to apply them in Lebanon as much as I can.
The kind of people that come on these programs are, you know, up and coming in their field. They're doing amazing work. I see World Oregon as this connecting hub for people abroad as well as people here. We want to be a place where you can share ideas and where those ideas spread. We have over 500 visitors a year, which translates roughly into 60 to 70 programs, 5 to 8 groups per month.
You look so happy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank God.
And then we'll arrange their local itineraries.
I think it will be love from first bite.
It can be all sorts of fields. I could have a group of doctors from Kazakhstan. We could have NGO leaders, nonprofit leaders. We'll have a group of political cartoonists coming next month.
World Oregon is a place where global connections begin. I mean, the breadth and depth of what we offer to these groups is pretty amazing.
And our goal is to advance disability rights and leadership globally. And
my goal is to be free and independent.
That do focus on the life skills side of things.
I had a phobia from dogs. I didn't expect myself to touch a dog in my life. It's all impossible. So my friend was insisting on me, you should just try the puppies. If you want to break this barrier, you should touch a puppy. And then I became friends with them. Yeah. That is why my one puppy, I don't know how she stole my heart. Just like guiding dogs, for example, is an unfamiliar idea in Lebanon, and I would like to take it with me to Lebanon.
Ah, okay. So did they say that?
So I think now the whole world is becoming a small town, a small neighborhood even. To meet up with people who had already their journey in life and they achieved what you're looking for, it's a good experience.
When we see these groups and these ideas kind of just spring forth from the table, there's definitely that moment of like, wow, that's amazing. I think there was a lot of hopes for a future connection, which is probably the most important thing that we can do. We see this as just a starting point for other things that can come in the future. And so we hope that the first time they meet is not going to be the only time.
I really wanna really thanks the World Oregon. Whenever we ask like to see something, they are here to support us. And now we are in this accessible park, also upon our request.
And when I heard that, I wanted to see how it is designed, what kind of materials. We wanted to make Beirut City an inclusive city. What could be the starting point of our project? And it must be the playground in the school. Because when you play with your classmate, you will connect with him, and then you will go out with him, and then you will work with him, and maybe you will marry him.
And for the World Oregon, I would like to thank them. In the US, this is really the first place which I feel I belong to this place. So the people are really lovely, they are very kind.
It's not enough to communicate it in business setting. I think it's very important to break bread together, to share chocolates and candies and baklava, and make tea for somebody and see what they like.
I just think having that diversity brings in a lot of strength. Sharing ideas, sharing stories, creating new relationships is just really at the heart of what we're doing.
It is actually the only way that people, in a real way, change hearts and minds.
This mentality of hosting people, bringing people together from all the world. Wow! I think this is an amazing platform, amazing experience to tell the people, yes, we can be beyond our differences, we can be together, and we can dream a better world.
Well, it's wonderful to be able to share that video with all of you. And in fact, Anna Schneider, our assistant director, our former assistant director of international visitor programs, who is off for new adventures in Philadelphia, is joining in via Zoom to see this. And she was the one who helped put together this original program. And like we mentioned in the video, this isn't the first and only time. That was just the first time we get to connect. And while we hope to see Fadi again in person, we are thrilled to have him join with us virtually and share with us what he's been up to. So without further ado, our guest of honor.
Thank you so much, Derek, for your kind presentation. I'm very touched to see all this beautiful moment that I spent in Oregon and many states, and to remember all these beautiful, inspiring moments and the people that I met. I'm very honored and to join this talk with you. Thank you for all who joined from the US, Lebanon, and any place in the world. I would like to thank particularly the US Embassy in Lebanon, the Department of State, World Oregon, FHI 360 for all the beautiful and amazing preparation of my exchange virtual program. You did it with a lot of love and dedication. So I'm very grateful and thankful for all what you did so far. I think that we have two big moments that we are celebrating today. The first one is the 30th year celebration of the ADA, and I think and I believe that you have many reasons to celebrate this law. The other one, unfortunately, another moment for Lebanon where we are going through maybe the worst and the most severe political and economical crisis in Lebanon in our modern history. And that's why I called it a story of resilience, to maybe open the door to hope, to active hope. How can we change our reality today? So thank you once again, and let's move to the next slide, please. Yes. So the outline of this talk we'll talk about the law, and that all of us, we have like the common, what I call the Crip Camp story, this wonderful documentary highlighting all the journey of people with disabilities in the US. And each one of us, he has his own Crip Camp story to tell, whether on the individual or collective level. We can move to the outline, the slides, please. And then we will talk, what did we achieve so far, where we stand today, the COVID-19 crisis in Lebanon during and after, and what was the most highlighted experience in 2017, what was implemented so far, and what are the disability inclusion in Lebanon today status. So that will be a quick round about what we're going to share together. And I'm looking forward for your question and comments. So next, please. I know that you have many reasons to celebrate the 30th anniversary ADA law. I experienced it by myself when I was there. I went many times to the US. I know from your buildings, street, crosswalks, trains, buses, schools, churches, malls, library, how much it is accessible, and I feel independent and I don't need any assistance. And this is, I think this law changed the landscape of people with disabilities in the US and showed that the quality of life for millions of Americans, and proved that building a better nation means building one that everyone may fully participate in. Yet I know very well that the journey is still on. There's a lot to achieve. And I know from my discussion with many colleagues in the US that you still want to improve more and more. And I think the differences between Lebanon and the US on that level, the US, the success behind this law is, I think, is two factors. The first one is that you are able to initiate a culture of inclusiveness where there is no more any more we and them. All together, we come with our giftedness and the talents and even vulnerability to shape a better future and better nation. And the second one, that you have a law that you know how to implement to defend the rights of people with disabilities. I think in Lebanon, we were able so far to promote a culture of inclusion. I mean, people in Lebanon, they are well educated and they know very well the rights of people with disability, but unfortunately, on the low level, we're not able so far to implement it and to have this backup for us to ensure equity and inclusion. Next, please. I think this celebration is a moment to pay tribute to all the wonderful and pioneer and inspiring people in the US and even in Lebanon who struggled together and fought together to reach where they reach today. So this Crib Camp documentary that was published on Netflix showed this beautiful journey of people who fought and they reach where they reach in the 90s to issue the law. In Lebanon, we have, in the US, you started in the early 70s. In the US, in Lebanon, we started in the 80s, our struggle. And you have this photo of black and white where people with disability, they start to gather themselves and to think and to dream a better Lebanon for people with disabilities. Myself, I had my own Crib Camp in the 90s, where I discovered that I can become, by that time, I wanted to become a movie director, and then I shift to psychologist, just to say that this camp opened up for me many possibilities in life. So those people, they were very inspiring. And in Lebanon, I can tell you that even during the war, the civil war, and many occupations, the people with disabilities, they took many initiatives. One of them was the blood donation campaign in '85. And a sit-in at the crossroads between the fighting camps in '96 and the peace march, the big peace march in '87, which the disability movement organized in collaboration with non-violence movement. It crossed the country from the north to south to protest against the continuation of violence and militia control and to promote peace and justice in Lebanon. That was for us a big moment. I was young, but by that time, the people that you see in the black and white, they are the same today in October 2019, doing the same revolution and sending the same message of peace, justice, and equity to all people, not only for people with disabilities. And our big achievement that we thought that by that time, that was the issuance of the law 220 in 2000. For the right of people with disability. But unfortunately, next slide, please. It was poorly implemented. So are we there yet? Did we achieve, like the people with disability in the US, our aspirations and dreams for a more just and inclusive society? I would say, unfortunately, not yet. Next session, please. So it's hard today to separate the disability cause in Lebanon from the crisis that the country is going through. So let's just have a quick overview what is happening in Lebanon. Today, 1/3 of our population are refugees, Syrian, Palestinian, and others, including people with disabilities living in a very horrible situation. Many funds are going today for the refugee relief with lower interest for the people with disability. So as if we are considered again as a country of emergency and not a country of development, where we can plan better programs, policies, and activities. Of course, we went through this beautiful revolution in 2019, where we sent the most beautiful message to the world that we can plan and dream a better Lebanon, to change the mindset, the political scene, and to fight the corruption, and gather all our efforts in one nation to dream a better, but we're still struggling till today, and we know that we still have a long journey together. And today, the economical collapse, with inflation of 150%. So I can say today that we are facing a big challenge for our people, not only for people with disabilities. Many people, they don't have answers yet. Where can we find the light? How can we change the actual situation? And people with disabilities as vulnerable communities, they are the most affected today. Next, please. So just to give you a small overview, what was achieved till today since this law that was considered as good by that time, today we consider it as outdated. We are struggling to join the CRPD, and that the law today will be aligned with the value and the vision of the CRPD. So today, the number speaks for itself. Less than 3% of people with disability are achieving a college and academic education. To be more precise, only 2.89% they have a college degree. Only 2.64% they achieve their academic degree. And most of public schools are not accessible. Today, we hope with UNICEF, they have like 30 school project pilot to make them accessible. Most of the private schools, they are not accessible. And if they are accessible and inclusive, they are very costly for the population. In terms of accessibility, the law is not respected. So many public and private places are not accessible. It's always based on private initiative. The law is not enforced to let people to make at least the new buildings accessible. In terms of employment, we have more than 80% employed for people with disability. We have the quota of 3% over 60 employees that is not respected in Lebanon, whether in the public or private sector. It's only through big, let's say, banks or telecom, they are respecting this policy, but all the others are not really accepting to implement this law. So the big landscape in Lebanon is still largely poor, and marginalized people are still having poor access to their services and rights. Please, next. Even in terms of election in 2018, most of the poll stations are not accessible. So people, they were not able even to vote because the voting was done in school, and public school are not accessible. So many people, they were suffering not to reach the poll to exercise their rights. And when we talk about COVID-19, I can say that generally the government was able to reduce the infection and the casualties in general. But when we talk about people with accessibility, we didn't have accessible information about the virus and how to protect ourselves. Even the emergency plan that was designed by the government didn't include people with disability in the design process. Children with disability could not have access to remote education on equal basis with others. It was based only on private institution who was struggling to do it with all the challenges that we faced in Lebanon. Families of children with disability did not have the support and the service they need to help them cope with the crisis. Next, please. Even on the healthcare, none arrangement were made for people with disability who may frequently need healthcare amid the lockdown and stay-at-home orders, despite requests by activists. But many disabled association, DPOs and CSOs, they try to collaborate and to raise awareness on social media. We collaborated even with the National Mental Health Program to include disability in their action plan. A COVID-19 awareness was done by the the AUB, American University of Lebanon, by the student led by Dr. Aitab Shaib, and the Disability Hub, where Eden, my NGO, is part of the steering committee. We launched like 4 videos awareness to cover all the challenges, and I would love to share one of them with you now. Please, can you put the video?
Jad, Karim, and Dana's story shows a low-income family's experience with online distant learning during Corona pandemic. The family needed to resort to sharing the only smartphone they have at home to participate in online learning. Jad is in the 12th grade and has a hearing impairment. It was hard for him to keep up with the audio-based lessons on the phone, and the text was too small for him to read. Karim, a university student, uses the same phone to attend his online lectures, but the internet capacity is not enough. Jad tries to follow his class on TV instead, but since the TV does not offer any sign language or captioning for audio information, he could not benefit or learn. Dana, their youngest sister, is in grade 4 and has a learning difficulty. Her father tries to help her do her homework, but he doesn't know how to cater for her educational needs.
Education is an equal right for all, and so is distance learning.
Public and private stakeholders should provide educational information and guidance for all in different means with audio, visual, and simplified language, and offer tablet devices and internet connection for low-income families. Designed and produced by the students of Architecture and Design at the American University of Beirut, Julia Saab, Maria Zantout, Yumna Fattal, supervised by Dr. Aitab Shaib, Inclusive Design Specialist at the Department of Architecture and Design at the American University of Beirut. Special thanks to the Disability Hub Steering Committee of the Center for Lebanese Studies at the Lebanese American University and Studio Walid Sarroua.
So thank you for showing the video. So that was one of the 4th video that was produced and to raise awareness about people with disabilities and how to face COVID-19 on many levels, whether health, education, accessibility, and many others rights that we need to defend during this uncertain times. Please next, yes. So now I will highlight quickly the most inspiring aha moment that I spent in the US. I cannot forget the National Disability Mentoring Coalition with Daring and 3 inspiring ladies who went through this mentoring and coaching program that we're trying to implement in Lebanon, especially through many programs. The other one, the Disability Resource and Educational Service, University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, a wonderful lady, Pat, director of this department, who showed us that this university is serving 2,000 students with disability with full access to all kinds of services. I had wonderful follow-up with her. She coached me when I was in the university, Antonia University, how to implement programs there. And one of the achievements that we did with Dr. Aitab Shaib, we did an access audit to the new building in the university to become fully inclusive. We were even very close to sign an MOU with the university to share experience, but because Pat were leaving her position, we couldn't make it, but it was a wonderful exchange with her. Please, next one. Mobility MIUSA in Lebanon with Susan and the wonderful team and the huge program that they're doing with the women with disabilities. And we are trying today to reproduce a MOOC about women with disability in Lebanon and the Arab world to highlight their rights and how to empower them to lead an independent life and to fight for their rights in a way. So we are doing a deep connection and collaboration with the MIUSA. Dance ability, this is something personal of my passion for dance that I started 10 years ago, and I reached Miami in 2015 where I joined the World Latin Dance Cup. So we met dance ability and we saw this community who's respecting all the diversity and putting them together to spark this passion for dance. It was a wonderful meeting with them. And of course, City of Portland, how can I forget this wonderful and inspiring meeting with Joanne and the other team to see how they are working on the local governance and how, what kind of structure, policies, and activities they are running in order to include people with disabilities in their structure. And this is something that we're trying to reproduce in Lebanon because we have the local governance and the municipality have a lot of potential in Lebanon to reproduce something similar and to create an advisory committee in the municipality on disability. This is one of the projects that we are trying to run in Lebanon as well. And how to forget the home hospitality with Paul and Tatiana that I had the pleasure to meet last Saturday again. and to see the wonderful work that they're doing on the policy level, especially for children with autism. So all this moment, they were very inspiring for me to push my thinking forward. Next slide, please. And to achieve many other milestones. So one of the things that, and our big struggle in Lebanon is to ratify the CRPD. In the Arab world, only Lebanon and Sudan didn't ratify the CRPD yet. And in Lebanon, it is only for political conflict. It has nothing to do with the content of the CRPD. Since 2007 till now, we are struggling through many campaigns. And the last campaign that Eden led with 70 NGOs and syndicate and university, we created a campaign that I will show you the video with 8 public figures, including 3 people with disability, launching a big call to the parliament and to the government to ratify the CRPD. Please, can you show the video? Is the video is not ready yet?
13 كانون الأول 2006 كانت لحظة مفصلية.
تم خلالها إقرار أول اتفاقية بالأمم المتحدة لحقوق الأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة
من أجل دمجهم بالمجتمع.
هالاتفاقية غيرت نظرة العالم للأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة
ونظرة هالأشخاص للعالم.
أكثر من 180 دولة مضيت وصدقت هالاتفاقية.
تشريعات،
استراتيجيات
وخطط عملية انطلقت لدمجهم.
أما نتلو نسلم كاملة من الحقوق، من أهمها
أشركتهم بآلية أخذ القرار،
المراقبة
والمحاسبة
ضد أي تمييز بيطالب.
تأمن لهم تساوي بفرص العمل.
من خلال هالاتفاقية
بحق لي اتنقل ببيئة مؤهلة من دون حواجز،
واستعمل تكنولوجيا مكيفة بكل المجالات والقطاعات.
عائلة وبيت، طفلة عيط لي بابا، بعيش حياة طبيعية.
بعيش حياة طبيعية. بالحياة السياسية
بشارك كمواطن بصنع القرار.
بنتخب وبترشح كمان.
لأنهم منا ومثلنا.
صار فيهم يدرسوا بنفس المدرسة
مع أصحابهم.
بس لبنان لليوم
وبسبب خلافات سياسية بحت
ما صدق على هالاتفاقية.
اليوم وقبل بكرة
لبنان لازم يصدق على هالاتفاقية
تيصير الوطن اللي منحلم فيه
وبيقدر كل طاقات بناته وأبنائه
من دون إقصاء،
تهميش
أو تمييز.
شو اللي معوقنا؟
السؤال برسم السياسيين،
الحكومة
ومجلس النواب.
صدق
بكرة أحلى.
صدق بكرة أحلى.
بكرة أحلى.
صدق
بكرة أحلى.
صدق بكرة أحلى.
Thank you. Through this campaign, we were able to push the new government today to include in their ministerial statement the following article. The government will work on ratifying the CRPD and modifying the law on disability 220/2000 in alignment with the CRPD, and will initiate an action plan to ensure inclusion at all levels. So this is the promise. It is not achieved yet. We hope with all the advocacy that we're doing now and we're still doing that we'll reach this goal. Another thing we were able to publish in the process of publishing is the first handbook in Arabic about disability in the Arab world with 28 chapters, scholars. And this handbook, many of its chapter was reviewed by colleague in the US to help to shape it in the best way possible. And I'm very grateful for all the scholars who helped in this book. It was a long journey of 3 years to publish this book in Arabic. Next, please. So today, the big question, what will be the next scenario for Lebanon? You know, when you go into a hardship, you always ask the question, what would be the best scenario, the worst scenario, and most likely? And if you want to think outside the box, what would be the unusual angle? Next, please. So I would say that today, with all the challenges on the regional level, Lebanon was always crowded by his opponents, supported by a developed educational system. But today the big question, are we able to resist and to keep our standards and lifestyle and aspiration, or are we moving to the poorer economies which would reflect on the case of people in disability with Lebanon? So what could be the turning point? What could be the active hope for Lebanon in order to shape a better future? And active hope meaning that we will always do hope. We will always do this through our willingness not to surrender. I know that for many people, that could be a cliche. That could be not reasonable anymore with all the challenges that we are facing. But again, either we'll go to the worst scenario, either we'll try to find what could be the turning point in our life in order to shape a better world. Maybe with this collapse of fake prosperity economy in Lebanon and unveiling of the result of over 20 years of rampant corruption will lead to transform Lebanon towards a more sustainable model led by the values of diversity and inclusiveness, collaboration and solidarity across all its components. This is our message to the world, that we will not give up and we will always keep the hope to transform our country. Next, please. So what could be our SSRI toolkit? This model inspired by Dr. Chris Johnson. What would be our strategy, strength, resources, and insights? So in terms of strategies, in Lebanon, we still have specialized, complementary, and influential local and national DPOs. We have a big number of diverse associations for people with disabilities, and we have a very specialized network like the Disability Hub and other as well. In terms of strength, we have a big activism of people with disability and that has a rich history in Lebanon, such as the story that was told in the beginning. And this is our resources that we went through many hardship and we learned a lot. There is a lot of learning lessons. And in terms of resources, we have a lot of studies and roadmaps developed by many DPOs and UN agencies how to find solution to our problem. But unfortunately, because of the political crisis and the political leadership are not taking disability as a priority, we're not able to implement all these roadmaps that we designed and delivered together. And in terms of insights, we hope this revolution will bring forward the reality of the united Lebanese people, able of solidarity with all our diversity and thriving to build a country with the respect of human rights. Next, please. And now for futuring, I would love to borrow this tools measurement that was done in the UK, where we have 4 stages of levels of inclusion: invisible, awareness, intentional inclusion, and cultural inclusion. I think Lebanon is between awareness and intentional inclusion, and we need to move forward by taking more formal steps to eliminate all forms of discrimination through systematic change. We didn't reach yet this level, but we are striving to reach there. I think that a cross-sectorial and collaborative approach strengthen the linkage across disability actors, governmental and non-governmental, local and foreign, through human-centric approach based on real field data mapping and prioritizing of people with disability needs, and sustainable approach where local DPOs and activists are empowered and able to develop a complementary and a national program. And this is something that we are working on today, on renewing our 220 law in Lebanon to make it more modern and add other laws that was not included in the initial law. Next, please. So I will finish this talk, and I hope we'll have time for the question. How can we bounce in Lebanon? Will we be able to bounce back and to recover? Will we be able to bounce with and to create adaptive resiliency? And our maybe aspiration to bounce forward into a transformative resiliency on the collective level, what we call the post-traumatic growth, and to learn from all this hardship to shape and to spark a better Lebanon for all of us, and to bout outwards, I mean, through a collective resiliency where all together as Lebanese, we can invest our creativity, our resourcefulness, in order to overcome this hardship that we're facing together, and to achieve the aspiration of all Lebanese people, that we can see this beautiful country behind me, where we have the most beautiful historical sites and people and resources. Even Gibran, Khalil Gibran, if you know, the famous author was from Lebanon, and he has a garden in Washington on his name. So we have resources in Lebanon, we have hope, we have the creativity to spark a new Lebanon. And we need to keep on believing in our country for people with disability and for all people as well. Thank you for your active listening.
Thank you, Fadi. Fadi, this is Tim DeRoche with World Oregon, Director of Programs. I want to welcome you back. Sorry we can't welcome you back around the dining room table, but welcome back to Portland. I'm curious, when I look at not only the wonderful opportunities, but some of the challenges you were up against in Lebanon, how can let me recognize, I was gonna say, how can US folks, but I also know that we have a lot of international people on this call, how can the global community and US communities be stronger allies for what you're doing and the work you're developing in Lebanon?
Yes, as I said, Tim, before, unfortunately, the international community, including the US, they change their focus into the refugee in Lebanon, because it's a big crisis, as I said. So most of the funds is not going to disability program in Lebanon. And with this lack of assistance and with the internal crisis and economical, we will not be able to sustain our efforts. I mean, I believe that the US have a lot to do and to offer. Already the IVLP was a great experience, but I'm talking about the national level. How can we advocate for the government to respect the right of people with disability, and how can we help the local community through many programs to put the disability on the agenda again as a priority? Otherwise, the situation will become worse, and I'm really afraid where we can reach which level of uncertainty that we're going through.
So we have a question here from one of the participants. When a country is undergoing a crisis, as in Lebanon, many important issues remain unaddressed. And I'm wondering if you are pooling your advocacy efforts with other marginalized minorities in Lebanon, or if you are creating alliances with those groups so that your voices are strengthened in solidarity.
Yes. This is a very important question. Actually, in Lebanon, what is good about our civil society, we have a very vibrant civil society. And disability, they work closely with other networks, I mean with other causes, whether women's rights, political rights. So we always exchange in an inclusive way our policy and our aspiration. And this is one of our strengths in Lebanon, I would say, in order to hold on and to keep the resistance.
So here's a question. We get this sort of a question a lot, especially for people coming out of conflict zones or difficult hotspots in the world, but you are such a hopeful person. Where does that optimism come from when you face so much adversity?
Well, I believe that, as I said in this documentary, that I always build my life on my dreams and not on my disability. So I was always passionate about what I want to become, whether a disability advocate or TV presenter or couple counselor or a dancer. So I was always faithful to my passion, and I always learned from my hardship to become a better person, and I'm still working on that level as well. So when you are faithful to your values and to your dreams, hardship will be part of the process. It will not be the end line, the finishing line. The finishing line will always be how to rise again and to continue your journey in life. Thank you.
So you hinted a little bit at the influence of your visit to Portland in 2017. I'm wondering if you could dive in a little deeper on what was the most memorable moment for you from your experience here, and what sorts of things had a direct impact on the advocacy you're doing back in Lebanon?
Yes, as I said, the work of the city council was very inspiring, because in Lebanon, the ministry are very weak and we need to depend more on local governance. And the programs and the policy that they have are very inspiring. From the other side, the meeting with the MUSA and the huge program they're doing for women with disability, who are the most marginalized within people with disability in Lebanon, was very inspiring. That's why we are now building connection and collaboration with them to bring this program to Lebanon and to build a MOOC, for the first MOOC in the Arabic world and for Lebanon for women with disability. And not to forget all the beautiful people that we met, such Tatiana and Paul, and all the beautiful warm places that we visited and visited and inspired us to continue this journey.
So how are you currently working with other leaders in your field in other countries in addition to the US? And then to tag onto this, are there other countries across the Middle East and North Africa that may be doing some things right in terms of accessibility?
Yes, I think that Jordan is a very pioneer in terms of CRPD. They even, during COVID-19, they had like 6 hotlines just for people with disability. We didn't have only one hotline. We defended this and as the disability hub to promote it, and it was achieved at the end. Jordan is very inspiring. We are working with them now through a program for the right for the marriageability, Article 23, and building home. So to remove stigma for people with disability to have access, to have marriage, and to build relationships, and not to be affected by the stereotypes and stigma in Jordan. So this is an inspiring country. And of course, the Gulf region, because they have many resources, they are able to implement the law in a wonderful way.
So let's dive into a little bit of conjecture. The world, both globally and in the US, is increasingly polarized by culture and economics and politics. And I look at where Lebanon is in terms of your fight for disability. You're kind of where we were in like maybe '87. Having spent the time that you did in the US, do you think if we were fighting for the ADA today, that we would have had the same success we did in 1990?
You know, when I watched the video of Crip Camp, really wonderful. If you didn't see it, I encourage everyone to see it. I felt that in Lebanon, as if we are still in this process, we are fighting with all our hearts to reach this level. So today, really, you have many reasons to celebrate them, your achievement. And in Lebanon, we are celebrating more on individual level, on small scale, but we're not able to generalize this on the national level, because again, as I'm telling you, we don't have serious governmental plans and policy in order to enforce the law in Lebanon.
Great. So somebody asks, the UK chart was really helpful to see for that levels of inclusion. Do you think there are similarities with changing the systemic issues with accessibility and racial injustice that is happening in the US currently?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you repeat it again?
Do you think that the UK chart that you had shown, which looked at different levels of inclusion across the board?
Yeah, the Canadian one, yes.
Yeah,
Canadian.
are there similarities with changing, do you think, the systemic issues that are going on? Is there a relationship between what's happening in racial injustice issues, Black Lives Matter, and accessibility? I think it's the question.
Yeah, I think when you talk about inclusion and equity, it should tackle any kind of challenge, whether with people with disability or Black community or women's rights or children's rights. And within one of the discussion roundtable last week, they told me sometimes in this level of inclusion, sometimes we can be on level 1, sometimes we can be on level 4, depending on the issue, depending on the challenge. So we always go backward and forward in a way. But in Lebanon, as I told you, we have a culture, a mindset of inclusion, but we don't have enough the enforcement of law. And this is our big challenge today.
We've got one more question here, and then I'm going to toss things back to Derek Olson to wrap things up. We have a question from one of our colleagues at the State Department. What was your favorite part of this virtual Gold Star exchange?
Well, so far we had last week the roundtable with the wonderful people from the City Council of Portland. I'm looking forward to another 2 roundtables this week with the University of Illinois and the DPOs like Access Living and Musa. So we're still in the process, but so far the City Council was very inspiring to renew our commitment to implement those projects on the local governance level.
Well, thank you, Fadi, so much for you've been an inspiration ever since that 2017 trip. Every time I watch that video, I get so emotional, and I want to thank you for sharing the really bold work you're doing back in Lebanon. And I'm going to toss it back to Derek, who is going to take us out of here.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Fadi, for the fantastic presentation. And audience, thanks for the engaging questions. On behalf of the whole Global Ties U.S. network, of which I serve on the board of directors, our partners at the U.S. Department of State, and especially the Education and Cultural Affairs Bureau, and FHI 360, one of our great partners in Washington, we are really honored to be part of this special Gold Star presentation. I encourage you around the U.S., support your local Global Ties partner, become a member, support them to help them do programs like this. Those of you in Lebanon, look to support Fadi's work, and those of us here in the U.S. can as well, as he was just discussing. We look forward to doing more of these virtual exchanges and hopefully before too long, in-person exchanges. So asking everyone to stay safe, stay healthy, stay engaged. We'll put this up on our YouTube channel shortly, and it will be available to share far and wide. So thanks again, everyone. Thank you, WGBH, for the closed captioning, and goodbye to everyone. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. God bless.